Hello, welcome to Once Upon a Surgery. I'm Kerry Berlet, wife of world-renowned plastic surgeon Dr. Anthony Berlet. I'm here to bring you stories of plastic surgery patients, their journey, why they did it, what the transformation was like, how their lives have changed since they underwent these procedures. We're here to spill the tea over plastic surgery. I'm here with Amy, who I'm actually just meeting for the first time. I saw her post on social media where she talked about this procedure that I've heard from Tony a lot of women are doing these days. And Amy is a yoga instructor, and I thought that was particularly interesting. And so I want to get into some questions for you that I have about this. And so I wanted to see, can you take us back to the moment that you first considered having your implants removed? And like, what brought you to that point?
Absolutely. So the journey for me started about 5 years ago. I had done some research. I had started contemplating the idea of going through surgery, which is scary, and decided in 2023 to go ahead with the procedure.
Okay. And had they been bothering you, or what? Like, was it a physical thing, or was it like just your appearance, or?
Well, there's so many layers to that. Originally, it was more of a health awareness.
There's been a lot of research lately.
Feeling some interesting side effects that couldn't necessarily be narrowed down to be considered a breast implant illness. There's no test for that, but the blurred lines of the two or different ideas that came to me gave me the idea to be like, dig a little deeper.
Like what kind of illness?
Well, breast implants in general, for some people, can cause extreme inflammation. It's a foreign body, so it's how your body personally handles it. And I'd had them for quite some time that I just decided I was at a point where I was like, do I want to continue down this road?
Wow. And so when you start, so how much research did you do? Like, did you go to multiple doctors? What brought you to Dr. Berlet? Okay.
Years. I saw many surgeons before I was introduced to Dr. Berlet.
And what were their reactions usually to you wanting to do
Mostly negative.
Really?
It's not as common of a procedure to have an explant versus a breast augmentation.
Right.
And a lot of the surgeons really wanted to push having surgery again, have the implants removed and replaced versus take them out altogether.
Really? So did they think, oh, maybe you just want smaller? Or was that what they
Yeah,
okay.
A lot of the time I was met with that, like maybe you just want to go a little smaller. The hardest part for me, which initially was so upsetting, is that everybody was so against it. They said I was going to hate the way my body would look.
Really?
That I wasn't going to be happy, that I was just, I was going to be uncomfortable, and, that the scars weren't worth it. Continuing on to that, it just kind of was put on a negative standpoint versus a positive light.
Right. It's so interesting because Tony somehow loves doing the surgery now. Like he comes home, this is what excites him the most. And he's now at a point where he actually doesn't even do implants anymore. Like which is so different because everyone thinks, when everyone hears I'm here to do a plastic surgeon, they immediately think boobs. And so it's interesting and then, I don't know, you were probably one of the first, I think, I don't know, maybe I'm sure he's been doing this for years, but this is sort of new that he's gotten this new kind of excitement about this.
Well, I will say that it's one of those things that it's not talked about. Mm-hmm. It's very quiet. People aren't shouting it from the rooftops like they were with breast augmentations. More and more people that I know personally are now, taking the initiative with their health and their wellness. And from my experience so far, it was really hard to find somebody that would even go near it.
Right.
So the fact that he's now, one of the leading people doing this in this area is amazing. And the fact that he's no longer putting the breast implants in is just, to me, such a huge significance in, women's health in general.
So I'm just curious, I don't know if you had anyone like romantically in your life at the time, but like I imagine a lot of men would kind of have negative opinions, right? Or I don't know.
At the time, no.
Okay.
And I didn't really consider it.
Right.
I figured it's my body, my choice.
Of course.
Just like when I got the implants put in 2003, it was all my choice.
And so, what was I gonna say? So basically, when you first went to Dr. Berlet, and he talked to you, like, so he was positive. Like, was he confident that you would like the result?
Well, Dr. Berlet was the 5th surgeon I had seen about this one surgery. In particular, because I had to do so much research and go looking for people who actually calling offices to find people who actually do the surgery. There's not a lot of information on the internet, and through a friend, I got Dr. Berlet's name and information, and then I called the office to see if they even did explant surgery.
Right.
Because everybody's websites, etc., say that they do breast augmentations, but that they don't do explants.
They don't actually even advertise it. Oh, interesting.
So I called, and I just happened to be, got right in. A couple days later, they had an opening, so I was like, okay, let me go see. And the minute I walked in the office, I was like, I like the energy here, I like the vibe, it feels comforting and safe. And then
as a yoga instructor, the energy is
very important to me. Yeah. So when I met with Dr. Berlet for the very first time, he listened. He patiently, listened to my story and what I wanted and what I was looking for. He never once said, "You're not going to like the way you look. It's not possible." Nothing. He just said, I got you. So I knew that day. I was like, I'm in the right spot.
Okay. And were you nervous going into the surgery?
I was so nervous. I'm a mom of 3, so any surgery is nerve-wracking.
And did your kids know?
My kids know. That's a very funny story. But my oldest is a girl, and so she knew. My boys, I had to tell them about the surgery.
Which I'm sure they don't really like to think about.
They don't want to think about their mom in that way at all. Right. So we had a really good, solid conversation about it, about surgery in general, about,
Were they worried there would be a risk or something?
I think they were worried about me, but they were more excited for me to finally get to this surgery that I'd been hoping to do for years. That they had no idea about.
Right. Did they even know you had implants? Really?
No.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
I guess, they're boys.
Why would they, I guess?
Exactly.
Yeah. Why would it ever come up to your kids?
Right. So when it was time for the surgery, they were definitely a little nervous for me, but also, very supportive.
Oh, that's good. And then, so when you first woke up, was it painful?
I reiterate this story time and time again.
And you're under, right? Obviously.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's general anesthesia, which made me nervous. But I remember waking up, and the first thing I noticed is that I could breathe so much deeper.
Really?
I was like, my breath was so strong. And being somebody who breathes intentionally for a living,
you teach people to breathe.
I noticed right away the difference in my breath. I remember feeling my chest and feeling like my heartbeat felt so strong.
Really?
And I didn't realize that my heartbeat always was so strong. That was a level of, implant between my chest and feeling it. So there was these little things that maybe somebody else wouldn't notice so much, but because of my profession, they were significant to me.
So you said the scars it's not on the top, it's underneath.
Yes.
So they slip them out. Is that how they put them in? Is from the bottom?
I think there's a couple different ways to do it, to put them in, but mine were inserted underneath.
Okay.
And so I had under the muscle implants.
Oh, okay.
And so
is that more complicated?
I would assume it is, I think, because they had been there for so many years.
Right.
Over 20 years, the scar tissue forms around the capsule of the implant as your body's protection, and then it adheres to the side of your chest and your muscle.
Okay.
So he literally has to carve it out
Oh,
to
wow.
take it out.
And then all that scar tissue too, probably.
Right. So
Okay.
everything comes out all as one. And then, it's recovery and fixing, whatever's left
Right.
from the space that was made with the implants being there
Right.
for quite some time. So he not only took out the implants, he had to do a lift as well.
So then, because I'm like, you take them out from the bottom, then how does the lift work?
So from like the areola down, and then I'm assuming.
I was like, I'm not the doctor.
I'm assuming, you just neatly close things up, which is,
And then how does he do then the lift?
Well, the lift was done in all at
Underneath.
once,
Got
so
it. Okay.
it's there's no upper.
There's nothing on the
scars.
upper. Okay. And so it just kind of hides. Okay.
Yeah. So anything can be hidden with a swimsuit or a sports bra, which I wear every day. So it's.
So you had to change, I guess, sports bra sizes, I assume, right?
I did. Yes. Yes. I went from having something to having very minimal, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Yeah. I mean, because I have like a little bit larger chest, but I always felt like when you have smaller chest, like you just feel thinner. I don't know.
Well, I will agree with that a little bit. I will say the first, I was a little nervous to look in the beginning because I was so used to seeing my body one way for so many years. And then to see it differently, you don't know how you're going to react. Was I going to be upset? Was I going to be like grieving the loss of these things? And I have had not one moment of regret.
Wow.
I looked in the mirror when I finally got the courage. It took me a day or two.
Really?
To just be like, okay, just take a peek. And I looked and I was like, this is how I'm supposed to look.
Oh, good.
Like, this is how I can't tell you right now what I looked like before. I can't remember.
Really?
Can't remember it at all. I feel like this is how I was supposed to be. And so I kind of like a full circle moment of coming back to a place where you didn't think it was enough. And then you come all the way back around and you're like, it's
actually
so
perfect,
enough.
right?
Exactly.
And so do you think they look similar to how they looked before? I mean, obviously you're older now, but
I was 20.
Yeah, right.
So
It's a long time
ago. 3 kids
and
later.
20, that's young.
So, 3 kids later, looks a little different.
Right.
Everything looks different, but I would say it's pretty close to perfect.
Okay. Amazing. Mm-hmm. And now, did people that you knew, I know you were obviously public about this, but people that you knew, did they just notice? Like when someone, it's a weird thing to say, oh, your breasts look smaller.
It was yeah.
I'm like, it's not normal. I'm like, it could just be a bra.
I wasn't sure how I was going to put that out there, so to speak.
Right.
I took time off work, which, I teach yoga. I own a yoga studio, so I'm like in front of people. They see me.
Yeah, what do you wear when you teach?
Sports bra.
Okay, right.
So they saw me a certain way for a very long time. I took time off work, obviously, so everybody's, where did you go? What are you doing? And I decided when I went back to work, only a few people knew that I was having the surgery, and when I came back, I was like, this is a golden opportunity for me to be so real with the people in my community and not make it something that people don't talk about.
Right.
So I took the opportunity to be like, this is what I did. I had explant surgery and, I'm super happy with how things turned out and I feel so much better and I feel more comfortable. And the message was loudly, positively received.
Oh, great. Yeah, because I imagine it's much better to just be honest, than like these people that try to hide. I mean, it's like, again, and you don't know, you might be inspiring someone else who's considering the same thing. Right?
Well, with that post that you saw that I posted on my 1-year anniversary surgery, which happened to be the day after Valentine's Day, I figured so appropriate was something that was, so close to my heart. I made that post kind of, hesitant of the idea, like, do I tell people like publicly on the internet? Right. Or do, I just keep it to myself and the people that know me? And I made that post, which felt like such a big deal for me to be like, hey guys, if you didn't know, now you know. Right. And I cannot tell you how many messages I got of positive encouragement, of people saying to me, I can't believe you did this. This is amazing. I'm so proud of you. And the flood of messages I got from women who want to do it.
Really?
And I know a couple people right now who are booked or who had just had surgery for that same reason.
Amazing.
That they were looking to, do it and, answered a few questions about it. So
that's amazing. I mean, and I do think the trend has changed, right? Because there was the whole implant, and now I do think that there's less of that now. I mean, it became then all about the butt for a while. I mean, like there's always trends, right? But then I think it's amazing that you put yourself out there like that. I mean, there's some people that sometimes have to get breast reductions for other reasons, right? Just for natural, but it's just the whole idea of like some of the health concerns with implants these days too. You might save someone's life by, just making them aware, just making, shifting their thoughts about their own bodies.
it was one of the most important factors for me, being in the wellness space, the well-being space, and knowing that you can do something and you can undo it.
Yeah.
And knowing that women in general, who usually put ourselves very low on the totem pole of things that we take care of for ourselves, it was important for me to be like, this is a priority, and anybody that I can encourage to like even think about it. And I have a daughter, and she's very much built like I was, and this whole conversation opened up a dialogue for her and I of how do you feel about your body, and she's like, now I would never want to put implants in. There's so many other holistic or more natural options, which I know Dr. Berlet does as well, which is like the alternative to breast implants. We're moving away from that look more to a natural or safer alternative.
That's so good. So now do you think are you done with surgery? Have you done anything else since then?
I have actually. It's funny because this one surgery led to another.
Oh, really?
Everything was fine, but after having 3 children and losing the volume in my chest, you could see how stretched out and how extended my abdomen was from childbearing. And
those darn kids.
Yeah,
they ruin our bodies.
And being a yoga instructor for all these years and being in a fitness world, I couldn't fix that myself. So there are some things you cannot do on your own.
The loose skin, there's just...
And the abdominal separation, which puts so much pressure on your body as it is, and your back, and knowing in my world, how important those things are as we get older and maintain strong, healthy bodies, that it was another thing. So I had a second surgery 5 weeks after the first.
Oh, wow. That's soon. Wow.
Yeah.
And so what was the second surgery?
I had a full tummy tuck.
Okay.
And abdominal repair. So we sewed everything back together.
Like the muscles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the muscles. There was a significant separation from my pregnancies, and then I just was like, well, if you're gonna do it, might as well do it all, right?
Do it all, do it right. Now, were you wearing it, would you wear a jog bra before you did this? That showed your stomach, or what were you wearing?
Not as much. I was a little less confident about that part, only because, giving birth multiple times.
No, I hear you, yes.
And I am on the petite side, so I didn't have as much room for humans. Right. And so, but now that everything is so much better.
Now you're
I'm like, put it out there. Right. The confidence of that in general, and just everything feeling so much stronger, which to me is more important than anything. I mean, but
it's not
the
just about the
visual
appearance.
part is, that's why we do a lot of the things we do.
Of course, yeah, yeah. And so now, so you have literally changed what you wear when you teach classes, you think?
I'm not as covered up as I used to be, but I'm also more comfortable. Yeah. So that's super important to me, being out there and, in front of a group of people every day of the week, and, everybody's watching you. It was nice to feel so much better in my own skin.
It's amazing. So knowing that you're a yoga instructor, do you think you can do more poses now? That like you have, I don't know, you've had all this, transformation happen.
It's definitely changed my yoga. Some ways, good, some ways we're still working on. I will say I have more space. I'm a little more open in my movements, more comfortable, a little stronger. That may have changed things, but also the fact that because my abdominals were so weak, I don't have as much flexibility anymore.
Oh, really?
Because everything was so tightened up.
Right.
But it's slowly coming back. So
Okay.
it's not a forever
Right. And
issue.
it still is pretty recent, right?
And if it was forever, it well outweighs the alternative.
Right.
So the surgery was worth me maybe not being as flexible as I used to be, or not there yet.
Right. Got it. And so the tummy tuck, the scar is like far enough down that it's not like when you go to the beach, do you wear a bikini now? Or did you before?
I always did.
You always did. Okay.
But yes, I mean, it definitely feels better to
Right.
be like not something you're thinking about anymore. Not being able to see the damage,
Right.
so to speak, of stretching out all that skin and just being able to feel so much more myself in my own body is like you can't describe that.
Right. So Amy, what's something that you wish you'd known before getting implants that might have changed your path?
Well, I had gotten the implants in 2003, and at the time there was no information about longevity of them or any health risk that could arise from having implants themselves. It was kind of just a here you go, let's do it. And so, it's such a space of just unawareness.
Yeah.
So fast forward all these years later, when I started to, do a little more research, knowing that, implants don't last forever.
Right. Tony says you have to replace them, right?
You have to replace them.
How many? Every 10 years? Every 20 years? Something?
I guess the standard is 10 years.
Wow.
And
which goes faster than you think.
Exactly. And when you're young, you don't realize that. So one of the contributing factors was the fact that I just didn't feel like this was something I wanted to continue to do.
Right.
And
there's maintenance, Yeah, they don't. Did the doctor didn't mention maintenance when you're 20?
Well, they said you'll eventually have to replace them. And at that time, that eventually could have been whatever. Right. It didn't matter. It didn't register. I was young and I was like, okay. But then you get older and you realize, oh, this is, we have to keep doing this. Yeah. Like, am I going to keep doing this? Yeah. And I had to sit with that for a while.
And every time it's like a surgery, right?
A whole thing.
So how many times had you had
I never had them replaced.
Okay.
Every time I thought about it, I made a few consultations, and every single time something made me change my mind. And I was like, nope. So when I decided to go through with this, I had done research and I had looked at studies. I had followed people on Instagram who had done it before me because I didn't know anybody personally who had done this. Yeah. So I felt like kind of lost, a little bit of a pioneer, like how am I going to do this? Right. And who is going to do this? Right. So that led me to finding, multiple avenues of surgeons to speak to, and every one of them gave me a little information, but they just weren't the right fit.
Okay. Interesting. And I wonder if you were so discouraged by so many people, because, do they just want the business? Like, what is it that they're discouraged? I don't get it, that they're so sure. They don't, they just met you. They don't know you. They don't know how you're going to feel about your body, just taking out the implants, that you're going to definitely not, maybe you're not going to like their results. Maybe they're just not good at it. I don't know.
That was, it was definitely discouraging and a little defeating. Yeah. To be like, I'm not, because these are people that this is what they do. Right. And they're telling me, you're not going to like it. You're going to hate the way you look. You should just get smaller implants. Well, smaller implants would have, eventually would have put me in the same position that I was already in. Yeah. It's a lot more work to take them out than it is to put them in. And I just don't know that people know this or want to work in that world or be the one who is doing that, because it's a continuous surgery. It's not a one and done kind of deal.
Yeah, it makes me think maybe they just weren't good at it. And so people haven't liked their results. Because all I know is like Tony is always, it's just so funny. He loves this surgery now. It's like taking out the implants and doing the lift. He's like, I don't know, he feels it like he's happy for the women, like that they're empowered, and like everyone seems to have, I mean, it's surprising, right? That how happy people are with that result. And it's, you just don't think about like how an implant, like you said, it's impacting your breathing. I mean, like all these other factors that come along with it.
Well, when I went to see Dr. Berlet on my first week post-op, I remember walking into the office and the first thing he said to me is, "You look healthier.
Wow.
You look brighter." And I felt it. I felt it
Really?
in every part of me. Like my skin looked brighter, my eyes looked brighter, I felt better. And I was only 1 week post-op. And, you know, we had a conversation. Do you think they were really impacting your health? And I strongly believe they were. I can't prove that. I can only say how I feel in myself and my own body. And I strongly do also, you know, for the fact that I teach hot yoga for a living. Mm-hmm. Breast implants have never been studied to be heated.
Huh.
Ever.
Interesting.
And when I found a study and information that backed up that there's not necessarily been any information out there on saunas, hot yoga, hot tubs, and raising them above body temperature.
Oh.
So
it,
that
like boils them or something?
Well, the shell is made out of silicone, whether they're saline or silicone implants. Everything breaks down eventually.
Right.
Heat will just break it down faster.
Oh, interesting.
So for me, teaching hot yoga multiple times a week for close to 15 years.
Wow.
I was like, at that point, I was like, I feel like this could impact me and it could be impacting my health. And I wouldn't know until I took them out, but I can tell you a year post-op that I don't get nauseous when I'm done teaching yoga anymore.
Wow, you were getting nauseous?
I feel better about, like, maybe it could be in my head too, that, you know, I just feel better. I feel more well in that space. But yeah, I did. Sometimes I would feel nauseous. It would just, like, my skin would feel itchy. Like there was just different things that I couldn't pinpoint, and I still can't say for sure, but my experience says that I definitely feel, you know, healthier now.
All right, so we're here to celebrate the happy ending, but I just want to know now, looking back, how would you say that this journey has transformed your relationship with yourself?
I would say, because it was such a full circle moment to come back to a place where younger version of myself didn't think it was enough to be able to come back to that exact same spot in a completely different perspective. So much self-appreciation, self-love, caring for my own self. I can't even describe it, how
It must be so empowering.
it feels so amazing.
Yeah, it's really a bold move. Cheers to you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Celebrating the new body of Amy. Now, what did is your mother still alive?
Yep.
What did your mother think?
She was very excited for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's I tend
Because sometimes
to be,
mothers can be, you know, judgy or, you know, like
No.
worried or, oh, good.
No, she was actually very excited for me and very proud of me for making, you know, taking the time for myself and doing something that I felt so strongly about and so important. And now I tell everybody about, so.
I love it. Now, we just heard from Amy, her inspiring transformation of having a breast explantation and lift along with a tummy tuck. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you want to hear more, please subscribe. And I would love to hear your comments and other questions you might have or other surgeries you're curious about. Cheers to you, and see you next time on Once Upon a Surgery.